For our very first project, we are going to do a little icebreaker introduction art project called Under My Mask. And this is going to be a self-portrait that you will be making to kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we can learn a little bit more about you as a person. So what you're going to need is just a plain piece of paper. You can use printer paper. That's what I'm using for this. Since most of you guys won't have had a chance to pick up your art supplies just yet from the main office, you don't have to do that until the second week of school. Just printer paper, honestly. If you have lined paper, that will work too. It's really not that big of a deal. But what you're going to do is you are going to take your sheet of paper and you're going to fold 1/3 of it up. So this is going to be the 1/3, and you can estimate. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best to get it, like relatively close. And then what I have done is I have drawn an oval, kind of a face shape, on the 2/3 on the inside part. And this is going to be where your face is going to be drawn. So, don't put too much pressure on yourself about how good this is supposed to look. Mostly because you technically haven't had a single drawing lesson yet. I have not taught you anything about art just yet. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, of just a fun little intro activity. So I've got my head and my neck. What you might do is you might add in some facial features. If you want to get super technical about it, your eyes are about halfway down your face, but I want to make sure that I'm still going to be able to see my eyes over this fold mark. So I'll do like kind of an ovally shape for my eyes. These are maybe a little bit too far apart. My nose will be somewhere in there, maybe a little bit closer. I'm doing this with pencil, so of course I can erase it. And then this flap that we have folded up, this is going to be where you draw your mask. So I can see, you may not be able to see super well, I can see through this paper. It's thin enough and this pencil is dark enough that I can see through to trace around. And it's going to be something kind of like that. So not only do you get to draw your face, but you also get to imagine in our COVID 2020 lives what a mask would look like for you. It can be one that maybe you actually have. I know a lot of people have put a lot of thought and care into their mask selection. There are some really cool ones out there. There are some kind of customizable ones that people have. There are lots that have sports teams logos and stuff like that on them that are very, very cool. So whatever you want your mask to look like, I have a little spot for it to attach with some ears. So maybe a little bit something like that. Now, I'm not going to waste your time by sketching absolutely everything out on this. This is just like, an intro. But you do want to include all of your facial features. From here, you're going to want to include who you are under your mask. So now that we have to wear face coverings when we're out in public, of course, it's a lot harder to see and understand people's facial expressions. We're a little bit more muffled when we talk. All of that is just a little bit more challenging with these face coverings on. So what you're going to do in this area down here, below the folded portion, is you're going to include some adjectives, some things about you, who you are underneath your mask that we may not be able to see the first time we see you if we were to see you out in public. So these might be things like behaviors. These may be things that you're passionate about. One thing about me is I was a swimmer, swam in college. I'm a mom, and no surprise there, an artist. I'm a teacher. So things about you that people may not be able to tell right away if you were wearing your mask. So this is my self-portrait. I've got my mask with a paintbrush and my Maywood colors on it. You'll notice a couple of things, I hope. I did most of this in colored pencil. The background is in crayon, but I want to talk just a couple of quick little craftsmanship things. No one expects this to be 100% perfect and complete. Use the materials that you have at home right now. Again, we don't have your art kits out to you just yet. It's on everyone's to-do list. You'll be able to pick those up soon. But get it as complete as possible, but you'll notice that I've taken time and care and energy with this. It's not just scribbly. When I was coloring in the background, I did a little bit darker, closer, and as I got a little bit further out. So your craftsmanship is important. Take your time with it. It is important for any type of finished project in your art class. And if you think that we can't tell when you have spent time on stuff, you are wrong. We can tell. You can tell. So use your independent work time well and wisely. Now, the big reveal, who I am under my mask. This is me. So I'm kind, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm funny, I'm creative. It's voting season, I'm a registered voter and a swimmer. And you guys can turn this part into whatever you want it to be. Add as many details as you want. Add as many adjectives as you want. At least 3. But, feel free to push yourselves to add more. And then when it comes to turning this first assignment in, you need to take a picture of it and submit it under your assignments. So, submitting photographs of artwork can be a little bit tricky. It was probably the most difficult thing about getting artwork in the spring was having, high quality photos of students' artwork. So if you have a cell phone, if you have a separate digital camera, those are probably your best bet. But if you have just the webcam that is on your district computer or on your laptop or whatever device you happen to be using, please, please, please make sure that you take your picture close enough to the camera that we can actually see all of the beautiful details of your work, because we want to be able to see all of the hard work you've done. And if the picture quality isn't good enough, then we're not going to be able to score your work. So please, please, please make sure that you upload a high quality photograph. And there's that PowerPoint presentation in this module that will tell you how to take high quality pictures of your artwork. So please take a few minutes, review that before you take your picture and upload your finished Under My Mask self-portrait.